The Toronto Raptors are making moves as we're at that point of the season where Masai Ujiri is going to be putting pieces together to see what hidden gems he can find out there across the NBA, and Jared Rhoden seems like one of those dudes. So we'll break that down, including a very, very unfortunate injury update for this Toronto Raptors team, as Ulrich Chomche, one of the most interesting players of this entire team and this entire organization, has gone down with the season-ending injury. So we have so much to break down in this video, but before we dive into that, folks, you guys have been crushing it, hitting the subscribe button as of late, and right now we're at 37,184 subscribers. Let's see if we can get to 37,200 after this video. Appreciate every single one of you guys tuning into the vids, but let's dive into the news, as frankly, there's a lot of stuff to break down. The first thing we're taking a look at is this brutal Raptors injury update. Now, if you guys didn't see, Ulrich Chomche is now out for the rest of the season with a season-ending injury. Basically, Blake Murphy revealed that Ulrich Chomche is out for the season with an MCL tear. Hope it is clean and he'll be ready for Summer League. He suffered the injury in the last 905 game when his teammate fell into his leg. This sucks. So this is definitely a brutal update for Ulrich Chomche. Of course, Chomche wasn't getting a lot of run, getting a lot of opportunity with the Raptors. Big club, but the back half of the season, this is the time of year, as we'll see with Jared Rhoden, the new signings, that the young guys get the opportunity to play at the top level. The guys that have been in the 905, that have been, sweating out there in the G League. Ulrich Chomche is a guy the Raptors signed to a 2-year, 2-way contract, and frankly, I think if things work out, he has unlimited upside. Will he reach that? That's the story to tell. But moments like these, where he can come out and spend a couple weeks with the main roster, get 10 minutes a night, those things go a long way in terms of the development of a young player that is in dire need of experience. And we've seen over the course of the season him develop, him get a better feel for the NBA game, end up just getting more comfortable out there on the basketball court. Of course, he's a very young player, but this season for the Raptors 905 is averaging 8 points per game. 9 rebounds per night and 3.1 blocks. So Ulrich Chomche has been, out there showing potential, especially on the defensive end, especially as a lob threat. There was some questions about his shooting ability. He's shooting 47% from the free throw line, which is a bit concerning, but he is shooting 50% from the three-point line. Again, a very, very extremely small sample size there. But so he's shown those flashes. Again, we know the intangibles of Chomche, 6'11", which is a massive wingspan. He's only 19 years old. So he is a player that is going to be a high upside guy. And we're just hopeful that this injury, this situation now where, he needs those extra reps, doesn't really hurt his development, doesn't really hurt his path forward, because he's a player that's extremely raw. But if things all come together with his, just basketball feel for the game, things are going to work out really, really well for him in the NBA. The other concern that I have with this MCL injury is one of the big perks of Ulrich Chomche was maybe not the mobility. He's pretty mobile for his size and stuff, but really his speed, his point A to point B, speed. He's running like a young Pascal Siakam out there in terms of the court. Kyle Lowry is playing with Ulrich Chomche. He'd get getting at least 8 points per game off those full court passes, assuming he could catch and finish. So, hopefully the knee injury, anyone that's out in the injuries know it does affect, all your mobility, all your ability to move. So, hopefully this guy isn't looking a step slow after dealing with this injury again. It's MCL, let's see, the partial tear. So this will likely require surgery, but an MCL tear, I tore my ACL lateral meniscus, medial meniscus, had a sprain in the MCL. So I'd expect surgery on a guy this young, but we'll see how things play out. But hopefully he's able to still develop. He's still able to come into his own as a basketball player. So wishing the best for Ulrich Chomche, but he's not the only kind of 905er we're talking about. This one is the Toronto Raptors are making moves. This news has come out that Jared Rhoden is signing with this Toronto Raptors team. So let's dive into this report. As basically the Raptors have signed Jared Rhoden to a 10-day contract. He has largely been the Raptors 905's best players and deserves the payday. Even if the path to guard minutes isn't clear, he can still be with the Raptors 905 too. Rhoden has been with the Raps in camp too before he got claimed off waivers. So Rowan was one of those final sort of training camp roster spots, and is a fairly intriguing guy because he's actually played some NBA minutes, played some NBA run over the course of his NBA career. Played for the Pistons. This season, played a few games for the Charlotte Hornets. He is a little bit older, so he's not old. He's my age, 25. But he put in 5 points per game last year for the Detroit Pistons in 7 games. He could shoot the basketball. He's a scorer. He does a lot of stuff, but he's been awesome for the Raptors 905 this season. And you see at the top line, this has been his stats. 16 points per night, shooting 42% from the three-point line, which is awesome to see. You might see his points are down, but the efficiency has skyrocketed out there for the squad, and that's exactly what you want to see for a guy that, of course, Rhoden, if he ends up making his way onto the Raptors roster, he's not going to be the primary option. He's not going to be the tertiary option. He's not going to be he's going to be like the 10th, 11th guy, if that, just for this year. So you want him to be able to perform out there in less of a role of, hey, this guy is the bucket getter, the focal point of the offense. So the fact that he's proving to be more efficient, he's proving to be more of a, capable, he's not a role player scorer by any means, but doing more things out there along those lines, that is a positive. The one thing that is concerning there is the 57% from the free throw line. Again, 18 games is a bit of a sample size. It's not the hugest. He has shot 81%, 85% in previous seasons. So get back working on your free throws, Jared Rhoden, and then we'll see. We'll see how things go. But he's improved his rebounds, assists, less turnovers, 1.1 steals per night. He's a guy that is fairly intriguing, and for a dude that looking at his sort of frame, 6'6", 210. Is a player that I think could be an interesting piece on this Raptors team moving forward. Again, I don't expect Jared Rhoden to be out here getting a ton of run out there at that guard position for this Raptors team. But in the back half of this season, it's why Ulrich Chomche going down is so hurtful, because before the All-Star break, we saw Chomche be able to go head-to-head with Joel Embiid. And of course, that's only for limited stretches. 5-10 minutes per game isn't going to just change your development, but it mentally shifts something out there in your brain. Like, oh, I faced off against this guy that I idolized, that I, seen in the NBA, all of these types of things. So the fact that he's robbed of those moments is fairly tough. And I guess for the other guys in the roster, the other guys that get the opportunities now, Rhoden and different players alike, they do get those opportunities to play at that NBA level to see who they can go up against and see who's going to be coming out there into the mix at that NBA level. But do I expect him to actually get much run with this Toronto Raptors team? Maybe in a blowout game, maybe in limited minutes. I mean, Darko Rajaković does do a pretty solid job out there in terms of getting guys run, but you have RJ Barrett, you have Immanuel Quickley, you have at these wing positions Scottie Barnes, Gradey Dick, Jacoby Walter, Jamison Battle, who's going to be getting run there now at this point. You have so many guys that deserve and are going to earn minutes, so it'll be tough to see him get a ton of run, but we'll see how that all plays out. But definitely expect Masai, Ujiri to be out there in the mix now at this point for a lot of 10-day guys, a lot of players coming in and out of the lineups, and see how things really shake out with this roster. Get a feel for how the young guys, Darko Rajaković has come out and said in recent practice, the goal for the end of the season is to make sure everyone gets better. So that's the approach. That's the direction for this Raptors team. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about what's going on with this Raptors squad. You guys best thing as far. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.